reject, then they're open to punishment.
I get it. I also have an issue with Islam as well.
Okay, no problem. You're not the first person to have an issue with Islam.
It's the predestination.
Yeah.
I don't really understand how it correlates with free will as well.
Okay.
That's my main concern.
You're going in quite deep, isn't it?
Yeah.
This question is quite interesting because when you say you have a problem with Islam and then you bring up the issue of predestination.
I mean, it's not really a problem. It's just like I don't.
No, but this is the discussion in Christianity between different groups. This is the discussion between atheists. This is no problem to share the good.
Yeah.
This is the discussion in the Greek philosophy on predestination. So I wouldn't say it's an Islamic issue.
Yeah, but it does say.
But it does happen in Islam, yes. But if I can just give you a basis and then we can work up, if you don't mind. Okay. Islam, it means submission. So it means that a person submits to the will of God. That's the meaning of the word. And we believe that this is what all the messengers came with. Abraham, Noah, Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad, peace be upon him, all those between them as well. We believe they all came with this. Submit to the one true God. Islam is built upon two very simple foundations. One is that God is one. He alone is the creator. He alone controls the affairs. He alone gives life, gives death, provides for us. Therefore, He alone deserves to be worshipped. That's the first thing. Anything which is worshipped other than Him is falsehood. Prophets, angels, stars, sun, moon is falsehood. And the second part is He sent messengers. He sent messengers to give glad tidings to those who accept, to give warnings to those who reject, and to establish the evidence against the creation, and to show people how to live their life. That's the two foundations. God is one and He sent messengers. Then everything else comes from that. But in the issue of predestination, we believe that human beings, there's basically four things how we describe it. In Islam, we have, I'll just lay it out to you, we have 6 pillars of beliefs. We believe in God. He alone deserves to be worshipped. He alone is names and attributes. We believe in angels. He's created angels to do certain roles. We believe He sent messengers. We believe He sent books. We believe in the last day, meaning from the moment we die, everything that happens there, judgment, paradise, hellfire, question in the grave, we believe in this. And the 6th thing, we believe in the predestination, which you brought up. The predestination basically teaches 4 things, according to the Quran and the Sunnah. That Allah, God, the one true God, He knows everything. Everything that happens, He knows it. He has written down everything. Everything that's happening is recorded. Me and you, this discussion, you being born, me being born, etc. Everything is written down. Third is creation. Allah mentions in the Quran that He's created us and He created what we do. So we've been created, but also our actions are created, as in the fact that I can talk, the fact that I can do good, the fact that I can do bad. All of this ability has been created by the Creator. There's no one else created other than Him. And then the last thing is that human beings, we have a will, we have free will, but we cannot do anything except His will is over it. So for example, you chose to come to speak to me today. I chose what to say to you. When I commit a sin, I choose to sin.
I don't really understand that.
Okay.
I thought predestination meant that everything that we are going to do in our lives is already written down.
It's written down, yes.
So if that's already going to happen, and it's already written down, let me just give you an example.
No problem.
Let's say an author is writing,
yes,
and then they write about the main character.
Yes.
And the main character happens to commit something bad.
Yes.
Or does a sin.
Yes.
How can then the author judge the person that they basically made the action? They made them do the action.
Yeah. So basically, there's 2 ways we look at it. One is we have complete free will. God hasn't created hasn't created us. He's created us, but He hasn't created our actions. We create our own actions, and He doesn't know what we're going to do. rather we're just free. And when we do it, He knows. This for us is one extreme. The second extreme is, which we believe is going astray, is you believe is known as al-jabr, that we're forced. Everything we do, we're forced. If we're forced, then there should be no punishment, there should be no reward. So we're saying it's in between. We have free will, but whatever happens has been determined by the Creator. But this is something which is beyond human understanding. That's where the difficulty is. But this is what the text have taught us. But as I said, this is not an issue in Islam. This is something which is discussed in Christianity, in Islam, in philosophy, in atheism. But we're saying we have a choice. But we can only choose what the Creator has determined for us. So it's something which is beyond understanding. But the fact of there's one God, that He has created us to worship Him, and He sent messengers, He sent guidance. This is something which we can understand and we submit to. Like for example, the idea that if we're forced to do something, then how can Allah punish us? Or how can Allah reward us? How can He command us? How can He forbid us? So for example, I'll give an example. In Islam, people find it harsh. But in Islam we have a punishment for the thief, where the hand is cut off. Now, just to give some background, if a person steals out of greed, then he's liable to the punishment. But he steals something which was secure, put away, and the person had to make effort and intent to steal it. If the person steals out of necessity, hunger, etc., it's not considered a sin. Okay. Now what happens is, when you have a society where this law is laid down, you'll find that this punishment is not really put into practice. Because as soon as you do it to one person in a public place, crime has stopped. Like, people find it harsh, but people, if their house is broken into, if their wife is attacked, they understand it. So what happens is, this person who stole out of greed, his hand would be cut off. There's three benefits. One is, this person will not reoffend. If you see the people in this society, they go to prison, they get a criminal record. If you see the rate of reoffending, it's close to ridiculous. Secondly is, you protect people's property, and you protect society, because that crime will come to an end. And third, most importantly, we believe if a person is punished in this way, in this life, in a Muslim country, by a judge, under a ruler, it's not for me and you to be vigilante. We believe that person, because they've been punished in this life, they will not be punished in the hereafter. They've had their punishment. So, the point I wanted to get to, predestination. One of the early Muslim rulers, the second one, his name was Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu. A man came to him and was caught stealing. So he said, O Amir al-Mu'mineen, O leader of the believers, how are you going to punish me for doing a sin which was pre-decreed? So Umar replied to him, said, we are going to punish you. We're going to punish you for the sin which was decreed, by the punishment which was decreed. This might make it easier as well. There was a particular expedition where the Muslims, they went out, an army went out, and they were approaching Damascus, like Syria area. At the time there was a plague in the city. So when the army heard of the plague, the discussion was made, shall we enter or shall we not enter? Some said, we've come out in the sake of Allah, we should complete our mission, we should enter. Some said there's a plague in the place, we should not enter. So they had a discussion. The ruler at the time, Umar ibn Khattab, is the same ruler, a companion by the name of Abdurrahman bin Auf. He said, I heard from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that if there is a plague in a place, then do not enter it. And if you're in that place, then do not leave it, because you're going to spread it. So he decided the army should turn back. When the army turned back, someone came to him and said, are you fleeing? Are you running away from the decree of Allah? So he replied, he said, yes, we are fleeing from the decree of Allah to the decree of Allah. meaning that that thing was decreed, that plague was decreed, so it had to happen. And the fact that we're going this way was also decreed that we're going to happen. But we have choice. So it is something which is difficult to understand. But it's rather something where, as Muslims, we believe in one God. We believe He sent revelation, the Quran. We believe He sent a messenger. So because we believe in this, we believe in what He's informed us. There's things we can understand and things which our limited mind can't understand. And this is one of the areas.
Can I ask you a question?
You can indeed.
Were you born Muslim? And if not, why did you convert?
Okay. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, you may have heard this before, he said, كل مولود يولد على فطرة. Every child is born in a natural state. And then his family will make him Jew or Christian or idol worshipper. So we believe that every child is born in a state of Islam. Meaning, if you left the children alone, without any outside influence, they would believe there's one God and they would submit to one God. So we believe every child is born Muslim. But me, as you can see, I'm English. So I was born up in what we would call a Christian family. And then when I was 19, I became Muslim. The reason why I became Muslim was basically from a few years before, I wanted to know about life, what we're here for, what is right and wrong. So I looked at different religions. I liked certain aspects, but they didn't convince me. So I just came to a conclusion, okay, there's one God, this life is temporary, be a good person, one day we're going to go back to Him. And then I thought all religions were just man-made interpretations, etc. So I continued like that until I met a Muslim. This brother, he'd become Muslim like a year before me. And we was in my friend's house. He came, he explained Islam, and he must have spoke for like 5-10 minutes. But for me, it was so clear. Like the example I give is, you know your coat. Imagine you're in your friend's house, you leave your coat. And then when you leave, someone phones you and says, oh, your coat. It's like, oh, yeah. So I felt, when Islam came to me, I felt this message was something which I knew, but I forgot. Because it was so simple. This is basically what he said. There's one God. He's created us to worship Him and to be tested. He sent messengers and He sent books. We have to accept the messengers, we have to accept the books. And one day we're going to die and He's going to judge us. If we chose the right way, we'll go to paradise. If we chose the wrong way, the hellfire. And for me, it was like now I've been Muslim a long time. I can give you this argument and that argument. But me, it was just, the message was so simple. Like if I just mention something in the Quran, chapter 2, verse 256, it says, لا إكراه في الدين قد تبين الرشد من الغي. It says, there's no compulsion in religion. You can't force me to stop believing what I believe. I can't force you. Like, physically, you could force me. Physically, I could force you. Like I could say, okay, you're going to fast, you're going to pray, but I can't force what's in your heart. So the Quran says there's no compulsion in religion. Then it continues, but it says, but the truth is clear from error. The truth has to be clear. So for me, that's how I felt about Islam. And as I say, the rest is history.
Thank you for your time.
No problem, sir. All the best. But look into it. I know you're young, but think about it. Thank you very much. Take care. May Allah guide us and him. You okay, young man? You tired? A little bit. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, I prayed, but I prayed here. I missed it. Hi, sir. Information about Islam? Assalamu alaikum. How are you? Sir, madam, you okay? Information about Islam? No problem. Assalamu alaikum. MashaAllah. How are you, brother? Doing good?
I've seen you a lot on TikTok.